Hey, what's up? In this video, I want to go over everything intermittent fasting. I'm going to talk about what intermittent fasting is, talk about the benefits of intermittent fasting, and how you can start today to use it to help you reach your goals. I started intermittent fasting about 3 or 4 years ago, and for me, it's helped me maintain my healthy lifestyle and body composition so much easier. A lot of people ask and focus and put a lot of pressure on what to eat, but not many people ask when to eat. When we consider meal timing, we can really maximize some natural hormonal responses to the absence of food that really spark fat burning, specifically in the belly. Although intermittent fasting has become more and more popular for weight loss lately, intermittent fasting has been used for years and years, centuries, in order to help war soldiers and many other people heal from different diseases. If you think about it, when we're sick, what do? So let's get into what intermittent fasting is. All right, so what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is the voluntary withholding from food, meaning that you choose not to eat. So the first myth buster is that you will not starve. Our body is meant to function without food for long periods of time. And the good part is that when our body is absent of food for a certain period of time, some natural hormonal responses start to occur that helps us boost our metabolism and burn more fat, specifically in the belly. Now, let me define metabolism also in this section. Metabolism is the sum of all chemical processes in the body, including the breakdown or the buildup. Now, metabolism in the state of fat loss, we're just talking about the breakdown of food, specifically fat and carbs. So the goal of intermittent fasting is to adapt our body to burning fat just as effectively as it burns carbs, which it does naturally. And when your body can burn fat and carbs, now your metabolism is flexible and you can break down just about anything. And that's exactly where you want to be in your weight loss journey. Now, intermittent fasting has a million different benefits, but for this video, we're going to just focus on its benefits in fat loss. Let's go. Now, why would you want to do intermittent fasting, or why is intermittent fasting so beneficial? Well, the first thing I want to just be very clear of, which I haven't said yet in this video, is that intermittent fasting is not a diet. Intermittent fasting is a lifestyle, okay, which you can incorporate a diet within, yet intermittent fasting within itself is just a lifestyle. Now, naturally, we burn carbohydrates for food when we come out of the womb and in general. It's not until we use something like intermittent fasting or keto or something like that to become fat adapted, meaning that we start using fat for energy instead of carbohydrates. And when you're using fat for energy, you burn much more fat, as you can imagine. Now, there's a few hormones that I mentioned earlier, natural hormonal responses that happen when we abstain from food for a short period of time. The first one that I want to talk about is insulin. You've probably heard a lot about insulin with PCOS, type 2 diabetes, and many other diseases that are caused from insulin resistance. Intermittent fasting has actually been shown to be one of the leading tools, natural tools, in curing or reversing intermittent insulin resistance. And here's why. When insulin is high, and insulin rises when we eat. So when insulin is high, say we've been eating all day and we've been eating a lot of refined carbohydrates. And so all day our insulin is high and persistently high because we never really take too much of a break before we eat. Maybe an hour or 2, 3 if we're lucky. But other than that, we've been eating mainly all day, from breakfast time when we woke up, maybe around 7 a.m. to an 11 p.m. snack. Insulin says to the body, store energy. When insulin is absent or low, it says to the body, use energy. And this is why intermittent fasting tackles the belly fat so well, because when insulin is low for 12 hours, really 16 or more hours, 16 to 36 hours, your body is using energy, getting the signal to continue to use energy as the insulin level is low. The second hormone I want to discuss that rises when you don't eat for a while is growth hormone. Growth hormone is also a hormone that will target fat loss, but even more importantly, it helps you increase your muscle mass, i.e. growth hormone. So when you don't eat, there's been shown to be some gains in your muscle mass. Now, growth hormone gets at its peak on longer fasts, about 36 hours or more, which I don't necessarily recommend, especially in the beginning, but that's just a quick side note. The last hormone I want to mention is adrenaline. This typically is the stress hormone, or the hormone that comes on when we're running from, a lion, tiger, or bear. But when adrenaline rises, so does our metabolism. And like I said before, the key to losing weight or to burning fat is to increase your metabolism. So when adrenaline's up, your metabolism actually temporarily rises. So imagine you doing your regular workout or a cardio workout during a fasted state. You're gonna get the benefit of those extra calories being burned due to that increased adrenaline. All of these hormones are so key, and there's more hormones that are affected, but these are the top 3 that you're really going to be able to take advantage of in these short intermittent fasting. Now, what are some direct benefits from intermittent fasting, or who can even really truly benefit from it? Well, for me, when I started working intermittent fasting, I was running a health and wellness club, so my days were long and busy, and it required a lot out of me. So intermittent fasting were perfect in my busy schedule. So anybody that's busy, moms, entrepreneurs, doctors, different professions, that salesmen have this busy lifestyle or long days, intermittent fasting will be great for you. Also, it provides some flexibility. With intermittent fasting, the key is to stay in your eating window. Yet that window can shift earlier or later based on when you're busy during the day. So if you want to more so not eat during your busy time and eat later, or vice versa, you can really use it and be flexible with that window. The next benefit is being able to, like I said before, boost your metabolism. I can't say it enough. If your metabolism isn't rising, then you're not maximizing your journey as your weight loss journey. Along with boosting your metabolism, it helps you become fat adapted, which I mentioned earlier is going into fat burning much sooner and much more effectively and efficiently. I found that intermittent fasting helps with my discipline, especially if I'm night snacking, or if you're a snacker in general, or you eat out of boredom. Having those time constraints really puts some discipline in you. When you're like, oh, it's after 8, I'm out of my eating window, it gives you a reason to abstain from that food, or gives you a little bit more motivation to abstain from that food. Now, from a health perspective, intermittent fasting, just like I mentioned before, when you eat or when you're sick, you don't want to eat. You don't eat. Your body doesn't want you to eat. And why is that? Because it needs the energy not to digest your food, but to repair the cells and to decrease inflammation and to increase recovery. That's what's going on as you are fasting longer periods of times. You are having more recovery happen in your body. Your digestive system gets the rest. Your pancreas, your liver, all of these systems and organs that are usually overloaded by your intake of food is now getting a chance to recover. Inflammation is reduced, and those are some really big key benefits to excess water weight, pain, or any type of disease that you might have caused by this inflammation. Like I said before, intermittent fasting is shown to be a great fighter against insulin resistance. So people suffering from women suffering from PCOS, insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, and also any heart issues and things like that, which could have been a result of insulin resistance. Intermittent fasting is going to give your body that time to heal and possibly recover, so you're able to get off some medication and live a healthier, better life. So you say you're ready to start intermittent fasting, huh? Well, let me give you some tips before you do. The very, very first tip I will give you is that you must accept the lifestyle wholly, completely before you jump into it. I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people don't understand it, so you're going to get a lot of comments from people saying you're starving, and you even yourself might have these beliefs that when you're feeling a little empty, that you're starving yourself, or you feel weird not eating when everybody else eats, and all of these different things. So my very first tip for you is to really accept the process of intermittent fasting as your lifestyle, and know that you choosing that, others may feel some type of way about it, just like anything. Also, in your general weight loss journey, you just want to have people around you to support you. Now, outside of that, I need you to know that hunger is not an emergency, and it comes in waves. Have you ever been hungry, but way too busy to eat? I know everyone can relate to this. What happens? Well, eventually, you're not hungry anymore until maybe you stop doing everything you're doing. Then you realize, oh, I'm starving again, which you aren't technically starving, but you probably are legitly hungry. Hunger comes in waves. So if you just ride the wave and just say, this too shall pass, focus on your liquids, your water, focus on being busy, whatever your tasks are for the day, you'll ride that wave and get through it in no time. Hunger is not an emergency. And it's very, very, very key that you actually know that you're actually getting hunger signals and you're not just bored or you're emotional eating or things like that, and that you're actually hungry. Now, on the flip side, there are so many different ways to start intermittent fasting, so many different eating windows and fasting windows. I personally recommend, and where I started was the 16-8 fast to eat ratio. This may seem daunting to some people, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe you would like to start on a more of a 12-12, but I will tell you, the more you fast, the more benefits you'll get from them, or the longer you fast, the more benefits you'll get from it. But you also get to work your way up. So you have a 12 and 12 hour fast window that you could try. You have a 16-8 fast window that you can try. You have an 18-6 fast window that you can try. You have a 24-hour fast window that you can try, and a 36-hour fast window that you can try. Now, obviously, the 24-hour and the 36-hour isn't going to be the greatest start for most people, but for some people, these are great starting points based on their history or how much they eat right now. I like the 16-8 because we put our body on our work schedule. Most of us work 8-hour weeks, or most of us work 8-hour days, and so I think it's fair that we allow our body to also work in that same time period, because when we are asked to work overtime or need to do more work, we're not the happiest campers, and it doesn't make us the healthiest either. Same for your body and digestive system. If it's working all day every day, you're not going to have the energy to recover and do all these things, because all of your energy is going to your digestion, and that energy gets to be dispersed around much, much more. Now let me be clear, the 16-hour window of fasting, depending on how much you sleep, 6 to 8 hours of that will be in your sleep. We fast every single day while we're sleeping. So someone who sleeps for 8 hours, you're only going to be fasting awake half of the time, so that makes it much, much easier. Now, when you're fasting, so let's use the 16-8 because that's where I usually start most people. Say our eating window is from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. You wake up at 7. So what do you do from 7 to 12 p.m.? This is where you focus on hydration. What's allowed during a fast is water, tea, and coffee. I personally don't recommend any artificial sweeteners, milk, or anything creamer in the coffee or tea or water. These are black coffee, regular tea of any kind, whatever tea you like, herbal, black, green, whatever tea you like, and water. It's really important to focus on hydration, and I think fasting helps you stay more hydrated because you aren't eating in that time frame. And so all you really have to do, or really you can do, is drink water, so you're more likely to do it. Now, when you break your fast is one of the most important things. And I did not used to do this correctly. I used to break my fast with whatever, whenever I wanted. Not so much whenever, but whatever I wanted. Now, the key to breaking your fast is to break it with a protein and a fat, or a protein and a carb. Not breaking it with a fat and a carb. So, for example, we don't break our fast with pizza, or we don't break our fast with a peanut butter and jelly, because our body is so sensitive and it hasn't eaten for a long period of time. It's going to want to absorb. Remember, you're going to raise your insulin with those carbs, and your body's going to want to suck in all the sugar and all the fat. But if you use your protein with your fat source, or your protein with your carb source, then your body can start doing what protein does, repair and recover, and also give you a little bit of energy from either the fat or the carb source. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Fasting doesn't come easy to everybody. You might have your first couple days, you might not be able to last as long as you want, but please stick with it. Like I said, you're gonna experience hunger. Don't let hunger be the reason you don't try intermittent fasting to its fullest. And also, you don't have to fast every single day. You can look to fast every other day. And also, the longer fast you do, the less fasting you have to do. For instance, if I did a 36-hour fast, I could do that once a week. But compared to the 16 to 8-hour fast, I could do that every day or every other day. I'm going to leave you with my best intermittent fasting tips to help you fast longer. My longest fast has been 39 hours. And at that 39-hour mark, I was so ready to eat, it wasn't even funny. But I was so happy that I got to there, because my goal was really 36. But here's some tips. Be fueled. It's so important to drink your water, drink your coffee, drink your tea. Stay hydrated, keep fluids flowing through you. Stay busy. When you're not busy or you're sitting around, it's very easy to consume yourself with the thought of food or eat out of boredom. Be prepared. Preparation is key for just about anything and everything you do. When it's time to eat, be prepared. When it's time to drink and fuel and hydrate, have your water. Preparing for these fasts, how you break your fast, and all of these things is going to make you much more successful in the process. Be caffeinated. Caffeine is the main reason I was able to go 39 hours fasting. I literally drank like 40 ounces of coffee that day. And hey, I got through my fast and I saw crazy benefits from it. The last two things, be secure. I talked about this when we talked about how to start. Have those conversations with the people around you so you feel more secure about your choice to intermittent fast. And the last one is be patient. Just like every process, you're learning. You're learning your body. You're learning the foods that work best for you. You're learning the workouts that feel good for you. You're learning every single thing on a day-to-day basis. So be patient. If something doesn't go your way, you don't make it to the time that you wanted to, just start and try again the next day. Don't beat yourself up about it. And if you need any assistance, reach out. I'll let you know some more tips or what you could do to help you reach the goals that you want to. Listen, that's intermittent fasting in a nutshell. I hope that was really helpful and that now you're ready to start on your own. If you have any other questions, please reach out to me directly. Peace.